you remember the conversations when we're like, this is just a dead downtown, and we don't have any life afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And then the folks in the suburb are like, I want office over here. So you always want what you don't have.
Right.
And what that means is you ultimately want that mixed use component. That's really the bottom line. And so we're starting to see resi in downtown, which is cool.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you got the retail, you got the office, you got the resi. So now you've got that mixed use downtown that wasn't the case when I got here even 10 years ago. Downtown was dead at night, and that's shifted around. I think Water Street's been a cool contributor to that. I'm excited to see what Daryl does out in Ybor,
Right.
From that standpoint. And then you've seen the inverse too. You also seen the suburban stuff where they're starting to push some of these kind of niche office space stuff, healthcare, some of those other functions in there as well. So, to our point, the comment you were making before was, mixed use is king, and I totally agree. There's a quality of life associated with it, and it's just difficult to capitalize, and so that's why we aren't seeing more of it.
A+ office space seems like there's bets being made in that sector too, right?
Sure.
Like in Water Street, what is that, 1001, right? Water Street, that's been really successful. They're achieving extremely high rents. Ellison is doing an office project in downtown St. Pete, ultra luxe, beautiful, big, nice office. It seems like urban core. What do you call that? Class A office space?
For sure, Class A office.
I was going to say luxury. I don't think that's
the word. It's Class A. Class A is the right way to describe it, but it's flight to quality is I think what most of the brokers talk about, and so that flight to quality is definitely present, and that quality is usually meaning that you are amenitized. You're amenitized with other uses.
Pull up that Ellison project because I'm pretty sure they're adding some really revolutionary amenities that 10, 15 years ago you would have never expected in an office building.
Like for example, and we've done the same thing. So for example, in our Lakewood Ranch project, we went ahead and put in co-working space. So to that point of blending it in, we put in 5-6 offices in there. We put in a whole bunch of booths. We put common work areas, conferences, those kind of things.
Let me just see the amenities on this, and then let's pull up the Lakewood Ranch project. So mixed-use development with office components. Scroll down. It's beautiful.
Yeah, nice job.
2.1 acres.
Yeah, Casey's team does, and they do a nice job.
Yeah, great location. So here we go. 12-story office tower, 125,000 square feet, Class A. Represents the first Class A office space construction in downtown St. Pete since the 1980s. What we're going to offer, this is Casey Ellison, what we're going to offer is not only high-end finishes and latest technology, highly amenitized and driven by the lessons we've learned in the hospitality space. Ideal for employers looking to entice their teams to come back to the office. So are you seeing that on your end, like these companies really focusing on high amenities, big, beautiful office space? Hey, let's get people back to work. Are you seeing a push for this kind of return to work culture?
I would say I'm not seeing. No, I don't see it. Yes, there from the company standpoint, there's the demand there. I haven't seen the bulk of the market going after it. What I would say is your capital source plays a huge piece in that, and so you sometimes get what I would call, there's a real estate developers, and I think there's real estate investors, and I think there's a big distinction between the two. I see this project as a real estate investor, someone who's just as concerned about the return as they are about the quality of the project. I would definitely put Daryl in that category. He does a beautiful job of, and he has an idea of what he wants. I think Water Street is that way too, where they're looking at creating a long-term investment, but that also has something that's not just about the return. It's about the, I'm building a city, I'm building quality for the resident, of St. Pete and Tampa and Ybor. And, is the return there that's meeting market needs? Maybe, maybe not.
But that's not the primary driving
You're doing
factor.
this because you love this, not because you're trying to make a buck.
Yeah, Jeff Fennick was on the show and talked about that exactly.
Yep.
The reason he did it was not numbers on a spreadsheet.
Yep.
It's to create a space, to create a certain environment, a certain feel.
Yep.
And in order to do that, maybe the numbers don't align with your traditional real estate developer underwriting, right?
Yeah.
Like he wanted to inject capital, and maybe the answer to some of those questions just look, hey, it's not going to make financial sense. It's worth
Sure.
it to create, like you said, kind of an experience.
Yep. And so if you look at it from, let's say you want to do a mixed use project, if you look at it from the standpoint of, I'm trying to create a wonderful environment, you're always going to go to that mixed use component. If you're trying to get a return, then you're going to have to look at it from a slightly different lens, where you're trying to, bring 3 different capital sources. You're subject to 3 different kind of market trends and demands. And so, if you're partnered up with, we'll call it an investor, real estate investor, and they're sure about the bet, then yeah, we can make it work in conjunction with them. But are we going to go out and take the big risk on all 3? We've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
We did it, 2 or 3 times in the past, 5 years that I've seen that are pretty effective. But sometimes you just kind of blend it in. So, for example, on our Lakewood Ranch project, what we did is, we did almost a 20,000 square foot clubhouse, just to be able to kind of bring some of those components in there. So some of that social aspect. So our gym is pretty much top notch. We have 4,000 square feet of just gym. We have, roughly that same amount in the co-working space. It's, the idea that you're going to bring, the distinction between where you live, where you work, and where your amenities are. If you blur the whole thing, that just means it's within one development. That is essentially, you've created a community. You're not creating a type, a residential place. You're creating a place I can work, I can play, I can live.
Hey guys, if you want to watch the full episode of this clip, click right here. Make sure to subscribe by clicking right here. Thank you for watching.